Well, hello there. Hope you're doing fantastic. NovaKiss here, and today we're back with another reading, another pick a card reading all about clarity from your higher self. So the intention behind this reading is if you're thinking about situation in your life relative to which you would enjoy having more clarity, well, that's your time. The intention being that I'm going to be channeling messages directly from your higher self. I'm just here facilitating the communication between your higher self and you. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. If you do, I would be so grateful if you would like the video, subscribe to my channel if you want more content like so. Drop a few comments down also, I'd love it. And without further ado, let's get to it. Perfect. Okay, so we have 4 different groups in front of us with 4 different crystals. First things first, I'd love if you would take 3 deep breaths, just to ground, get here, take your time. And while you're taking these deep breaths, I'd love for you to start thinking about the situation you would love to get clarity about. It could be a personal situation relative to anything, it could be an inquiry about someone else, whatever. And once you start really focusing and tuning into this situation that you'd like to gain clarity about, I then want you to start wondering about which one of these 4 piles gonna have your answer. So we have group 1, pile 1 with the labradorite. If you feel drawn to this crystal, that's gonna be your reading. Group 2, we have 2 chunks of rose quartz. There we go. Group 3, we're gonna have the tiger's eye. And group 4, we're gonna have the shungite. So I'm gonna leave you a bit of time to choose before I jump into the reading of the first pile. If you need more time, just pause the video for the sake of retuning into the 4 groups and really sensing where your answer would be. And I'll see you for group 1. Okay, group 1, you're up. If you chose pile 1 or this beautiful labradorite, there we go, with beautiful glare. That's gonna be your reading, so stick around, we're jumping right in. There we go. Okay, so group 1, interesting energies we have at work. First thing, the central. So, well, first of all, I'm gonna show you the cards because I'm not sure you can see them very well on the camera. The other ones you seem to be able to read, but these ones, we got Destiny, which is the Wheel of Fate in this deck. Got the 5 of Wands, the Queen of Cups. Yep. Okay. So the central thing about this reading is a conflict, which is very much personified, I'd say, in this card, the 5 of Wands. It just feels like the situation you're inquiring about seems to be involving a sort of conflict with other people. I'm sensing likely to be a plurality of other people, involving many other people. It could be for some of you a conflict with another person, but I do sense that it's likely for most of you it's going to be it's about a conflict with multiple other people. So yeah, and the thing you're inquiring about is about this conflict because it doesn't seem to be evolving. It seems a little stuck, actually. With the South Node, I just feel like there's something about it's the kind of conflict that you are aware. It could be intervening in your workplace. It could be intervening in a more of a personal situation. It could be about a family situation. But I'm really sensing something that really, really bothers you. Something that you really dislike. You really don't enjoy this kind of conflict. This conflict also seems to be happening as a form of competition. Competition relative to perhaps, well, we have Leo energy here. So I just feel like there's a strong temptation on your end and your higher self knows this about you. That it tends to trigger you. This kind of conflict generally tends to call you into a sense of, I gotta show off, I gotta prove myself. That's the best way I would put it. As if I gotta prove a point. I gotta prove the fact that I deserve to be on top of it. I am the best. I am better. My opinion is the most interesting. And although I feel like, when you hear that, you may be like, well, sure, that's not a very pleasant thing to say about ourselves, but your higher self is not really, is not, there's no blame here. It's just about noticing it. It's like there's a conflict and it's really triggering this reaction within you of, oh my God, first of all, I really dislike it. And second of all, I'm feeling really triggered into trying to prove a point. And your higher self is like, I understand, but the reason to why you feel seemingly stuck in this conflict, as if it's not really evolving, it's not really going your way, but overall the conflict just stays. The reason behind it is that you're not approaching from the right angle. I really do sense the fact that your higher self is like, you have the power in the situation, and although very tempting, it's really about letting go of this pride, of this trying to be better than others. Your higher self is like, you are amazing, you shine very bright. With the full moon in Leo, you shine very, very bright. There's no doubt about that. There's no point to prove. Yeah, you shine bright. You don't have to prove anything for people to know that. And your higher self wants you to know you're amazing. You don't need to prove it. You don't need to speak it. People sense it. People feel it. You need no approval. And I'm resensing that, yeah, it's a real opportunity for you, and your higher self is really taking it a little ironically because they know how much you care about proving a point. But it's really an opportunity for you to realize that you don't need to prove a point in order to feel on top of it. You really don't. I sense that I sense that you are expecting something out of this conflict. Yes, sure, you're trying to prove a point, but you're trying to, I'd say, almost rally these kind of people to your cause. There's something that you desire, these people are disagreeing, hence the conflict, and you're trying to prove the fact that, hey, you're right, and they should listen and follow along, except it's not working. And I just feel like it's not the first time you find yourself in this situation. Your higher self is like, nope, definitely not the first time. Well, this time is an opportunity to make a different decision. Sometimes when we want to create something new, well, perhaps these people enter in conflict just because they're not the kind of people you're meant to be doing this with. We have a lot of very, very positive cards, actually. We have, well, this Destiny, which is all about the fact that, this conflict is destined and it will repeat until you manage to soften and release, nudging the camera, and release this past habit of really having to prove a point and forcing it to work with the people who don't want to do it with you, basically. Because there's something that you need to learn that is like, no, not everyone's meant to be around you. Although you wish that everyone would want to be around you, some people are better off staying away. But another thing is, what you're seeking out of this conflict is definitely bound to happen, but differently than what you're expecting it. I'm resensing there's a calling here to, well, rise above the mayhem, rise above the chaos, rise above the conflict. The Queen of Cups, she's very intuitive, she feels others' emotions, she's psychic even. Like, she knows what is going on. You cannot lie to her because she feels you. She knows you, she sees right through you. And that's the kind of thing. She is very loving, she doesn't need to prove a point at all. It's like she's above, quote unquote, the rest just because she stopped caring about trying to be above. It's this sort of detachment, the sort of, well, I'm gonna just focus on myself, loving myself, and yeah, just tuning into your heart, tuning into your intuition, realizing that perhaps what you're trying to create with these people is not meant to happen this way. That's why he hasn't worked out before, and that's why it's still not working out. Perhaps it's time to listen to the fact that it's not working out for a reason. And the reason is, I just feel like, we have the Weaver, we have the new moon eclipse. I just feel like the soul work, as in, you're not meant to be doing this thing alone. And that's why you're really getting stuck on the fact that you have to rally these people to your situation. Because you know that you want to do it with multiple people. Perhaps you have to, depending on the situation you're inquiring about. It's something that involves different people. And your higher self is like, yes. However, wouldn't it be much better if the people you would rally to your cause, if the people who you want to work with actually want to work with you, actually are aligned with your project, are actually interested in you in the first place, instead of just wanting to prove a point and fighting and being in this competition, which doesn't go anywhere really. Like, your higher self is asking you to soften up, open up, realize that you're good enough. You don't have to prove anything. So please let go of this situation and realize that the people you are meant to be doing this with perhaps are not the people you're getting stuck on. I just feel your higher self being like, oh my god, well, this one's a little stubborn. Yeah, but I just feel like that's not the first time you're trying to do this. That's not the first time you're trying to create a project forcing people who don't want to work with you, who don't want your project to be this way. And I'm really sensing it's a strong invitation to realize that yes, it is possible, but not the way you want to do it. That's why it hasn't worked. You're meant to be doing it with people who actually do care about you, do care about what you're interested in, your project, whether it is a family project, a relationship project, a career project, whatever, really. People who are aligned with you, not necessarily with your vision. I really do feel like your vision on said project might evolve thanks to these people, and you might realize that, yeah, without these people, the project that you would have carried on with these people would definitely not have been as great as it could have been. I really do sense that thanks to these people who are motivated to working with you, your projects are actually gonna evolve, because they're gonna have good ideas that you did not anticipate. Perhaps things you did not see coming. So I really do sense that your project is meant to evolve with people who want to work with you, instead of being stuck with people who do not want this project, who do not want to be with you. And even if by whatever miracle these people ended up working with you, your project definitely would not be as good as it could be. And by as good as it could be, what do you mean, higher self? I just feel like that this project that you're so stubborn about is something that you really do feel like you need, but actually wouldn't make you as happy and calm and relaxed as you think it would. I just feel like there's things you're not seeing in this situation, and there's no problem. But that's the whole point of surrounding yourself with people who care about you and who want this project to be the best it can be, So that's, yeah, I do sense that your higher self is like, it's okay, please soften up, because you're just gonna get stuck again. It's not the first time this situation is happening. You know what happened in the past. It rarely goes your way. So this time you're given the opportunity to do something else, to go about it differently. Finally, we have these two cards. The Weaver, it's literally the card of the creator. It's like you have the threads that you are weaving into whatever you want, really, because you can with the threads, you can create so many different things, right? I just feel like, yeah, like the deck is literally entitled Threads of Fate. So the Weaver is like, you are creating whatever the hell you want. You are creating it. However, this transition is helping you to create something from a bit of a higher perspective, a higher mind, instead of just playing out of ego in the situation. It's a strong invitation from your higher self saying, hey, this you can have, but let's do it in a way which feels way better, much more authentic to you, much more pleasant, and just, yeah, much more pleasant. you know. But something is definitely bound to happen with these two cards. It's like something is definitely bound to happen, something which is, I just see this card as like very, very, very positive omen personally. Like someone who creates what they want, something unexpected changes which are so beautiful, like a project taken off, but in a way which is so much better than what we anticipated. And we're just so grateful because it's like we couldn't have figured it out ourselves. But it just ends up being so much better. As if there was a higher self behind it, you know? So yeah, that's what I got for you, Group 1. I hope this is helpful. Tell me, I'd be very curious to know if it resonates. Tell me down in the comments if you can type. I'd be eager to read your comments to know if it resonated, if it was helpful, if it was beneficial. I'd love to know your feedback. And yeah, I'm gonna move on to Group 2, and in the meanwhile, well, take care, good luck with that, and enjoy relaxation. Bye. Hello Group 2, how are you? Hope you're doing fantastic. If you chose pile 2 or the 2 chunks of rose quartz, that's gonna be your reading. So get ready, we're jumping right in. Okay, there we go, Group 2. We have amazingly interesting energies, honestly. I'm sensing that the situation you are inquiring about is, and if that's not the case, maybe it's because the message that you're seeking is another pile, by the way. Because on this one, I'm sensing a pretty relatively specific situation. So you're gonna know pretty quickly if that's your pile or not. I am sensing it has something to do with your life circumstances, but in a bit of a broader perspective, as in Group 1 was more about or either career or family. Here it's more about you, a sense of homecoming, a sense of stability. It has something to do with financial stability, but not necessarily that precisely. For some of you, it may be about financial stability that you're inquiring. But for most of you, I'm sensing it's a sense of, well, feeling home within your own skin, not necessarily in a, like, feeling home thanks to something outside of you, but rather like, how do I create a life in which I feel home? Even outside of my house, I mean. I don't know if it makes sense, I hope. And I really do feel a kind of soul journey, a profound, deep heart longing to finding yourself, to finding what's home like to you. And that I find really, really touching, very, really charming. So, because let's start with tarot cards. We have the Eight of Cups, the Magician, the Queen of Swords. That is telling me like the Eight of Cups is really about moving on, embarking on a new journey. But the cups, the cup suit in tarot is all about our emotions, our feelings, and our intuition. So I'm resensing about feeling, like going on an adventure so as to find ourselves, to feel home within our own skin. And I sense that this is a journey that you have either started recently or have a journey you've been on for quite a while by now. And you've been exploring many things, you've been discovering many things about yourself, but comes a point where it's like, okay, sure, thank you, higher self. I'd like to, get to my destination. We say, sure, all the pleasure is in the journey. That's true. But at some point we start wondering, well, okay, but, and so what? And I really do sense that there's a little bit of frustration, but not in a bad way, a little cute way, because you sense these two archetypes within yourself. The Magician is the one that has all the elements, is the creator, is the one that creates his life the way he wants. He is the embodiment of power in tarot, as in the power to create whatever you want in your life, feeling empowered. And with the Queen of Swords, we also get a little bit of this energy. The Queen of Swords is the one who doesn't need to prove herself, is the one who has very strong boundaries, the one who loves herself, and who's also the master of the air element for the swords in tarot. So that would be about, she's the master of her thoughts, she's the master of her schedule. She's really enjoying her life in a feeling state of empowerment. And here, in this sense, I'm almost sensing like as if it was twice the same card, but one more masculine, one more feminine, because you are balanced. You feel the balance of these two energies within you. As in, you do feel these energies of empowerment, of knowing yourself, of feeling so proud and confident within yourself, both in a masculine and in a feminine way. We all have both a masculine and a feminine within us. And this is something that you feel. However, it almost feels like it's a little difficult to really express them, to let them come through you, although they are here within you, because of a certain sense of instability in your life. As in, when we do feel stable, little quick sip. When we do feel like we're on strong foundations, which is really something that we feel within us, it has a lot to do with what's around us. When we do feel stable within us, then we feel much more grounded, and so we start exploring how to express ourselves. But if we don't even have this strong sense of stability in the first place, well, these things are not necessarily the things that we're going to be looking for. I hope it makes sense. But these energies that you're wanting to embody because you feel them within you, they're struggling to come through because you're still on a journey to finding yourself, to feeling this sense of home, of homecoming within yourself. And well, good news is that your higher self is saying that, well, you're not going crazy. These things you desire because they are within you. And what you're looking for is definitely coming your way. And you're very close to achieving your goals. I mean, I was saying it as I read it just after I said it, but like literally, you're very close to achieving your goal. Didn't even realize it was written there, but yeah, literally. As in, you're very close to it. It's just a little more. Just a little more, as in, you have discovered so much. There are just a few other things to see, to restart sensing these beautiful energies within you. I really do feel like that it's been a little tough at times emotionally, because through this exploration of the Eight of Cups, you've been unearthing a lot of old emotions that you had to let go, some of them not necessarily the most pleasant, and you have experienced it. It's like this soul journey is also something that I'm sensing there's something behind it. The reason to why you went on this soul journey in the first place is because you felt like there was an issue in your life. And feeling home is definitely gonna make this issue dissolve in your life. Yeah, you're really seeking, here we have the pillar. I mean, that to me is literally the best way to describe the foundation that you're looking for. A sense of reliability within yourself, as in, I don't need anyone else to feel reliable, to feel stable, to feel home within my own skin, to feel good within my own skin. I enjoy other people's presence, but I don't crave it. I'm healthily independent. I don't know if it makes sense, if it rings a bell, but that's definitely what your higher self is communicating through. It's like, this is what you're going for, this is what you desire, there's a reason to why you desire it, because it's within you. And you're really on this path to actualizing it. And that's where we're going back to these two cards. At the beginning I said, for some of you, it had something to do with finances, definitely. By the way, I'm sorry if you can hear I'm hearing a lot of noise outside of the window. I hope you don't hear it. But if you do, I'm sorry, I apologize for that. Two green cards, like they're very earthly. And sure, it's really about a sense of stability and feeling home within your own skin. That's the best way I can put it. And if you've been feeling a little astray if you felt a little on the side of the road, I can definitely tell you on behalf of your higher self that it's changing. It's changing quickly because you are discovering what it's like to feel home within. And something that your higher self is really pointing out is like, is really interesting card, the wildling. I sense that one thing that's really gonna start kicking all of this in. You know, it's almost like you've been working, building up, discovering so many new things about yourself, and then there's just one drop that's gonna make all the vase spill over, and everything's gonna unlock at once. I'm resensing that. And I feel that these last things you're discovering is about the wildling. As in, sure, there are a lot of things you've been discovering within yourself. You've been releasing a lot of stuff that was no longer serving you. You've been discovering a lot of new things you didn't even know were part of you. One last thing to consider is your passions. As in, I can feel that some of you have resistance towards your passion for whatever reason. Whatever may apply in your personal life. But I'm really sensing your higher self is saying, your passion, your excitement, what lights you up, what makes you wanna stand up and wake up in the morning, has a lot to do with this sense of stability that you're looking for, the Taurus energy. And yeah, prosperity lies ahead. I really do feel like many of these issues that have been on your mind, they're just gonna evaporate at some point as you really come home to yourself. That's an amazing news. Like, from your higher self's perspective, I really do feel like there never has been any worry. Although I really do sense that this hasn't been your experience personally. Your personal experience hasn't been like that. Your higher self has never been worrying about the fact that something could go wrong. Your higher self knew that you got this since the start. And that this was a beautiful journey, and that it's coming to an end. I don't have a specific time frame because there are a few people on this call, so it may vary from one viewer to another. But yeah, either way, I'm really definitely sensing that there's a lot of clarity that's gonna start unfolding by itself as you come home to yourself. And that one key thing to explore, yeah, your higher self is really putting an emphasis on this one, is what lights you up. What is it that lights you up? Sure, it may not be traditional. Sure, it may feel very new to you. Perhaps it's not something you had considered. Perhaps it's something you have dreamt your entire life but never dared going for. And your higher self is saying that thing, for as long as you don't accept it about yourself, you're not gonna feel home. I'm sorry to break it down to you, but that's true. Like, what lights you up is not luxury. It's a prerequisite to that. So that's definitely something very raw, I'd say, about this card. Very raw energy, something that really animates you, that really makes you stand up and stand out, I'm hearing. So yeah, superbly interesting. I really love that for you. Yeah, that was it. That's all I have for you, group 2. I hope you loved it. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like the video and write down in the comments. I'd love to know how it went for you, if it resonated and if it was useful also. And yeah, I wish you all the best on the closing of this journey. And till next time, bye. Group 3, I hope you're doing fantastic. If you chose pile 3 or this beautiful tiger eye, that's gonna be your reading, so let's jump in. Okay, group 3, let's go. First things first, contrary to group 2 where we had quite a specific situation, here I'm sensing that many of you choosing this pile have drastically different situations going on for you. So, little disclaimer, take what resonates, leave the rest. If some things here in this pile do not completely resonate, means that it's meant to resonate for someone else. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Don't force anything. Just because it's here, you don't have to force it to be true. You'll know if something really doesn't make sense to you. So yeah, that's definitely something I want to put out there first. But yeah, so I'm gonna start with the tarot cards. If I can grab them. There we go. Got the Ten of Wands, Page of Cups, and the Chariot. I'm really feeling that your situation, whatever's going on, I'm really sensing that it could be pretty much about anything, honestly, because I'm sensing that we have many different people on this pile. It's definitely something that you're killing it. I'm definitely hearing from your higher self, but it's starting to get a little heavy. Like the imagery that I have is almost as when you're in college, in school, in college, that you've been going through an entire year, and that you have the final exams that last, I don't know, for an entire week, take up the A level, like a big final exam that lasts for a week where you have different kinds of exams and you're going through them and you're like, you're killing it. Yes, you are. But you wouldn't mind if it was to come to an end. It's starting to get a little tiring, a little heavy, I'm really sensing that you are killing it, no problem. But you wouldn't mind if you were to reach the finish line now, So that's something I'm sensing. And I really do feel that in your heart, what you want right now is just like peace, simplicity. There's a strong calling to feeling at peace, feeling easy, feeling pure, feeling lighthearted, which really comes in opposition to this card where it feels a little heavy, a little tiring. Here we're more like, we feel very free spirited, like holidays, if I had to put, one of you could have this actual situation where it's like you're going through final exams and you know that there are holidays coming right after, that's, yeah, you're killing it, you're nearly there, and what you really want right now is just to chill out. But just a little more, you're gonna get there. The Chariot is definitely the card of saying, well, you've reached the finish line. There you go. You're victorious. There's the success. That's the celebration you've been looking for. So if some of you had doubts relative to, I've been going through this and starting to get a little tiring, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it. Yes, you definitely will. I'm hearing from your higher self. You are killing it. Even if you're telling yourself the opposite, you are killing it. You are nearly there. You definitely gonna get it. What you're seeking, you will get. This finish line that you're seeing definitely is gonna happen. So that's a really good reminder from your higher self. Yeah, I was looking for the word reminder. Like a good reminder of your higher self. You know that you've been working for this thing for a long time. We're not gonna give up now. You're gonna get there. Just so you wait. I really do feel like you've been working for this thing. Most of you have been working for this finish line. And yeah, like here we have almost a confirmation, a repeat of this card, as in, yeah, it may have felt a little tough. I feel like most of you are still in it right now. Just near the finish line, but not quite there yet. It's definitely coming to an end and a happy ending. I'm sensing that most of you actually is gonna have a little surprise, as in you're looking for a finish line. But here we have the card of the universe, which is really telling me your higher self is almost like winking at you, as in, yeah, there could be a little bit of unexpected happy surprises. So like an unexpected party organized by people around you, something like that. So something perhaps you were not seeing, not expecting, but just turns out to be even better than just finishing this line. You have this satisfaction having crossed the line, and on top of it, here's a little gift, here's a little plus, here's a little surprise. Yeah, I really see your higher self just winking at me, as in, yeah, you're gonna love it. You're really gonna love it. And yeah, a reminder, it's like, if some of you have doubts still, keep going. You know why you're doing this. Keep going. Even if it feels a little heavy right now, I don't feel like it's feeling dreadful or anything like that. I don't feel like it feeling super heavy, but some of you may be experiencing it as, yeah, a little bit tiring in the long run. Like, keep going. Your finish line is coming up. So, and you're gonna love it. It's gonna be even better than what you expected. So that's interesting. And then with these two last cards, I'm picking up like more specific messages for some of you. That's why I was saying at the beginning, like perhaps not everything might resonate with everybody. This one's really making me feel like, I mean, just simply someone who've been really thinking about admitting their feelings to someone else. As in, yeah, you've really taken the time to get to know this person, you've been dating for a while, and you know, like now you're like, God damn it, I'd like it to go a little further. I'm starting to feel a little exhausted to be in this waiting period, but I really don't know if they like me as well. Here I'm really sensing, make the first move. I mean, you're gonna be surprised, pleasantly surprised. So that's really an invitation for some of you. It's like it may not only be about a romantic situation. Yet again, check in to see if it resonates with your situation. But perhaps you're just there, quite at the finish line. You're hoping for something, for a disclosure. You just need to take the last extra step to get there. So something to keep in mind. And another thing is, we have this card, the Sage, is really giving me strong wisdom vibes. Kind of, just now I'm hearing old soul kind of wisdom. You know, someone who appears, when you hear them talking, they appear much older than what their biological age may display. Someone who has a lot of wisdom that no one actually knows where it's coming from, perhaps not even themselves. But yeah, between the universe and the Sage, I'm sensing a strong spiritual energy, very intuitive, very tapped into the cosmos kind of energy. So that is very interesting. But I would almost take it as some of you may be aware of being an old soul. Some of you may realize that you have a lot more wisdom than what you care to admit. Some of you are actually realizing that you have developed so much wisdom through this process that you've been going through in order to get there. Yeah. A lot of wise energy. Perhaps someone that some of the last steps of your journey may involve wisdom from another person. Perhaps you've been thinking about asking help to someone who's older than you. That could be it. That could be a confirmation. Yeah. Strong spiritual energies. I really like that. I'm really sensing that for a lot of you, your higher self is just saying like, you've been really head down on your project. Now it's time, you know, since this process is nearly over, it's time to put your head back up and start seeing the bigger picture, because you have a lot more wisdom and a lot more wisdom than what you care to admit while you were going through it. So yeah, just like see you walking for miles, looking at your feet, and it's like, yeah, you're nearly there now. Start looking at your destination, you know. So yeah, very interesting. Oh, book the camera. Very interesting energies. And that's all I've got for you, group 3. I'd love to know how it went for you, if it resonated. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe so you don't miss any other content from my channel. Write down in the comments how it went, if it resonated. Again, I would love to read about it. And yeah, I wish you to get there, to get your finish line, to get your celebration, to get your surprise, and enjoy all the wisdom you've accumulated throughout this journey. And until next time, I wish you the best. See ya. Group number 4, you're up if you chose pile 4 or this beautiful Shungite. That's gonna be your reading, so let's get to it. Group 4, let's get to it. We have a lot to talk about. First of all, I have to admit I'm a little thrown off because we have some very interesting energies going on. Like you have way more cards than any of the other groups, which is surprising. When I was shuffling, like all the groups had 8 cards, and for whatever reason yours had 2 more. So it's like we have a lot to talk about. Your higher self is like, there's a lot to say. There's many things to say. And second of all, I just seemingly had a little bit of an incoherence, but I feel that there actually isn't. I was just misinterpreting one thing. Okay. So let's get to it. Buckle up. We have a lot to cover. So first we're gonna start with the tarot card. We have the Knight of Pentacles. I love this card, oh my god. We have the 8 of Swords. We got the 3 of Wands. We're gonna start with this with these cards. I'm feeling distracted. I'm sensing something deep. The situation you may be inquiring about may be a little triggering. Just a fair warning. I don't know if that's the reason to why you're here, actually. But yeah, if it gets a little heavy, please seek out someone to give you a hug, because you deserve it. And with that out of the way, let's jump in. I'm sensing that, well, I'm gonna first give you straight up the meaning that I'm having with these 3 cards, and then we're gonna start going with all the mess around the Knight of Pentacles here. It's like, it's the energy of the person who has spent so much time preparing. I keep booping this plant. You can see, like, on the card, are we focusing? Yeah, there we go. It's like her armor, especially if you compare it to the other knights in the deck, is not pretty to look at, but it's the most efficient. She's always studying, she has perfected her craft. So yeah, it's really this relentless energy that keeps on bettering and bettering, becoming more and more efficient, that is extraordinarily well organized, extraordinarily well prepared, very stable, very reliable. That's this kind of energy that has been preparing for a long time, I'm sensing, because the situation that you're inquiring about, at least consciously, is something that is to come. Wait, there we go. That is coming up. Here in the 8 of Swords, I'm really sensing that you are almost thinking about what feels like a deadline. For you, it may literally be a deadline. For others, it feels like almost as if you've been preparing yourself for this event, for this thing, which really is gonna feel like it could go either way, as in you may come out of this situation victorious, or you are afraid that you may falter. And that's a scary place that you're in. As in, I am afraid that this thing that I've been preparing for a long time may not go as planned. I really do feel like you are inquiring about an event, a situation, a deadline, something which is coming very quickly in your life, and you're very scared that perhaps you're not prepared well enough, that perhaps it won't go as planned. And quick intervention from your higher self saying, just for you to know, even when you are scared, I understand that when you are in a scary place, you are not in a frequency where you necessarily feel into these truths. That's why they're bringing it through my voice to you right now, just for you to be aware of it, even when you're in a place of fear, that everything is always happening in your best interest, whether it goes the way your mind has decided or not. And that's really something which is key here. It's a real key. Your higher self really wants to emphasize this. If it goes as planned, it's because it was meant to. And it means that it would be the best course of the best situation. If it doesn't go as planned, if somehow something doesn't go as planned, doesn't go well, then just that in this case it also means that it's the best thing that could have happened, that it was in your best interest for this thing not to work. And I know this is not the thing you want to hear, because some of you are expecting this. Your intuition is telling you that it's more likely for it to not work out than to work. For some of you, the situation will work. For some of you, it won't. But either way, your higher self is like, you gotta remember that even if you are in a place of fear and you don't really are in a mindset where that's something that you are feeling as a truth, you need to know that whatever happens is what is meant to be happening, what is meant to be happening in your highest interest, although your mind may have decided otherwise. So that's just something to get real clear here, because there are some people who are preparing themselves for a failure, and I'm sensing such a heavy energy behind the situation, and I'm so sorry if that is actually that heavy for you right now. But yeah, definitely, if it ends up going your way, well, perfect. If it doesn't, it's okay. Your higher self says, no, it's not the end of the world. You just need to know that sometimes you need things to not work your way in order to grow, in order to make better choices after, in order to learn things about yourself that you wouldn't have learned and discovered otherwise. So that's something important to know. I really do feel that you're obsessed with one thing. You know, it's like this bird has, let's get the focus on. This bird is like swimming in the ocean, and you have, I don't know how you say it in English, a bank of fish? Many fish, let's call it this way. You have many fish, but the bird is like aiming at this one precisely. And I just feel like, and that's the thing that threw me off earlier, it's like all of the situation, it's like it almost feels obsessive in nature, and comes with that a warning, as in your higher self is saying, I understand that you've been carrying on with this plan, that you have decided, camera, stay with me, thank you, that you had this goal in mind for a long time, that you've been taking a lot of actions, you've been relentless, that you've really incarnated this energy of the Knight of Pentacles, that you've been taking a lot of actions, you've really taken the time to perfect your craft, to study it, to really be ready for this moment. And it almost feels like, and that's a little heartbreaking, that for some of you, it definitely feels like for some of you, this was a real obsession, as in you are so honed in this sign of fish that you didn't even realize that this was not what you wanted in the first place. I'm really sensing that a lot of you are carrying with this situation just because it's like you've gone too far to change your mind. That's why I just feel like there's so much heaviness, because there's so much denial in the situation. So we're gonna get ready, because now we're diving in. And yet again, if it's triggering, I apologize. That's the message that is coming through. So if you are here, I just hope and wish that this reading, whatever ends up coming out of it, will be of most benefits to you. Okay? We have the card of the underworld. Like, all of these cards are about healing. Like, the whole theme of all of these 7 other cards, which are, let's be honest, a lot of cards, especially compared to the other groups, they're all about healing. That's what was throwing me off. It's like what's the link between the 3 tarot cards and all of this? It's like, I just feel like it's all in your mind, as in you've been carrying with this plan for a long time because you've been in denial about something in your heart. You've re-honed in this thing because you've been told that it's what you needed to do, and because you are running away from fear, something that seemingly terrifies you, you've really gone stubborn with this idea of, I need this to work. But you know deep down in your heart that if this is the only reason why you're wanting it to work, it's highly likely that it won't, for the sake of putting you back on tracks. So yet again, back to the message earlier, if it does not work out, it's okay to be sad, it's okay. Just remember that it was meant to go this way. Whatever happens, it was meant to go this way. That's the thing that breaks it down to you. The underworld. The underworld, if you look at the imagery, let's do the focus. There we go. You can see like the chains, I don't remember how you call the spiky plants. Shoot. Yeah, I've forgotten the name of it. Well, that's okay. But it's like chained hands. And the underworld to me really is the card of our shadows, the things that we're not wanting to see within ourselves. As beautiful as they may be, because you're a beautiful person, just like everyone else. You know, you're not that special to the degree that you're not beautiful, whereas everyone else is. I'm sorry. Even if there are beautiful, beautiful things, sometimes the underworld just indicates what we are running away from, things we're running away from ourselves. And here I'm really strongly sensing denial. As in, I have been embarking on this journey, and I feel like this journey has been going on for quite a long time. It could be talking about years for now, for some of you. This could have been something this journey could have taken years to some of you, but the whole motivation behind it was to run away from yourself. And your higher self is like, you are feeling like it's not gonna go well because it very well could not go well for your mind. It's gonna go exactly how it's supposed to be, and it's always in your highest interest. But sometimes you're gonna realize that what is in your genuine highest interest, the thing that will genuinely make you the happiest in the long run, may not be the thing that we are so stubborn about with our minds. I really do sense that you've been running away from yourself for a very, very long time. I'm gonna use a very specific example, but as in someone who grew up feeling like an artist, who wanted to be an artist all along, but since they were a kid, they grew up in a family that was extremely like all scientifics, and so they embarked on this journey of science studies for years and years and years to please parents, to make sure that you're on the side of parents. But at some point, it's like, for whatever reason, it stops working, and then you're left seemingly with nothing, forced to realize that the whole reason to why you were doing this in the first place was to please someone else, because what you have been wanting all along wasn't this. But you were too scared to admit to yourself, because you knew that perhaps you meant to be, in this example, breaking up with your parents' ideas, parents' philosophy. That is a very, very specific example that may resonate with a few viewers, but that's the kind of idea I'm sensing. Someone has been dedicating themselves for a very long time, potentially years, to a path which is not true, which is not authentic. And now the end of such path is coming. When I said that for some of you, this situation, this very specific deadline that is coming up in your mind, you will be successful, doesn't do anything about the fact that if you're here, chances are that this path you've been following, especially with all the other cards, is not authentic. We are talking about an issue regarding authenticity, and your higher self is just like, I understand why you did this, I honor that, you've been very strong for doing this, and you should have compassion for yourself and celebrate yourself, because you know what, you did it still, and that is remarkable. You know, now it's time to have compassion for yourself. Now it's time to love yourself. Now it's time to honor what you want to do, to realize that you deserve to be happy just like anyone else. Now it's time to admit to your dreams. Now it's time to admit that what you've been doing is not true. It's not you. And I'm sorry for the triggers on this one, because I'm feeling a lot of you are not liking this message. But yeah, I'm resensing the underworld. It's like there is so much beauty within you. So much beauty, so much beautiful energies, and so many people on this planet that would love to see that. But you've been denying it out of fear, the same fear that pushed you on this path in the first place. So I don't know what it is, because it varies a lot from viewer to viewer on this spiral. I'm sensing that you are several on this spiral, so this could be about a lot of different things, but I'm pretty sure that if you're still here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. What is the path you're on, and what is the artist within that has been neglected? And your higher self is repeating to you something that you already knew all along. You look at these people outside of yourself that are quote unquote living their dream life, or are so happy, and you feel very futile, and that makes you feel pretty bad about the fact that you would like to have a similar experience of life, as in, I'd also would love to be happy with my life, to just simply be happy, not to have to force it, anything. And I just feel like your higher self is saying, well, you know you can have that too, but that will take you the courage of stepping up for yourself, of honoring yourself, creating a life for you instead of for someone else or something else. Because this path you've been obsessively on these last years, that has been taking all your mental capacity, really. The only thing you've been thinking about these last years, you haven't been on this path for you, you've been on this path for someone else. And that hurts. That's why you feel chronically sad, chronically bad. I'm not gonna lie, we have strong beliefs coming through here. It's time to release negativity. It's like the Scorpio is the zodiac sign which deals with our deep emotions. And I do sense that you've been feeling it, honestly. You've been going through it. And it's time to have compassion for yourself, to realize that no, you deserve as much as everyone else. You're not meant to be on this path, and that's why you are sensing already, because you're intuitive. I can tell by the cards, you're an intuitive one. Even if you don't feel very connected and tapped into your intuition just at the moment, you do sense that this thing you've been partying in has a timer, and it is close to its end. It's like if you don't close this yourself, the universe will do it for you. So yeah, I'm resensing, yeah, a kind of strongly denied dream. It's like a time for healing. It's time to really allow yourself, focus please, there we go. It's time to really allow yourself to cry it out. I just feel like you've been walking with a lot of heaviness in your heart, and it's time to allow yourself to have compassion for yourself, to realize that, well, I see you. It's normal to feel this way when you're living this kind of life, and you deserve all the love in the world just like everyone else. So that's definitely something that you need to have this moment for yourself, to really check in with how you feel and really start honoring these feelings, because they are saying something pretty darn obvious by this point. And yeah, we have a lot of deep spiritual energy. I feel like there is these two purple cards, they have a lot to do with your truth. It's like these emotions, these heavy emotions, are revealing a lot about the truth. It's like you feel bad because you're denying things which are authentic to you. Here we have blue cards which deal more with the throat chakra, which is more about communication. I just feel like your higher self is saying that obviously, this is not even a question, you can create your life the way you want to create it. So it's just a matter of having the courage to step up for yourself, really. You can do it. It's totally possible. Even if you feel like you've been believing your entire life that it isn't, it is possible. That's why you have your dreams. That's why you have these dreams. But all of the ball will start rolling only once you commit to it. Only once you commit to yourself, basically. So it's interesting. Well, these two last cards, it's just an invitation. Like, these two cards are just an invitation to, yeah, take time for yourself. The observer, start observing your life a little. Try to zoom out a little bit, like what's been going on with this, what's been going on with these emotions, with these desires. Start observing yourself, being aware of these. And yeah, the transmute card to me has a lot to do with the like checking in with negative emotions, our shadows, the things we've been running away from, and exposing them to the light so as to make the most out of them. Transform these painful emotions into raw gold, the thing that they're meant to be. So yeah, I hope this message was helpful. I don't have anything more for you, group 4. I really do hope it was beneficial. I would really love if you would write down in the comments how it went for you, if it resonated, if it was of any help, if it was beneficial. And I'd be eager to read these comments. Like the video if you wanna show me that you enjoy this content. And yeah, I wish you all the best with the situation that you're going through. I see you, I'm with you. And till next time, take care.